We had an unspoken tradition where the bride always found her own special spot for entertainment. We mutually agreed to avoid raucous guitars and rowdy behavior. Little did I know that things would take such an unpleasant turn for me. The series of events began a week prior to the bachelorette party. "Rita, have you picked out a venue for the bachelorette party yet?" I inquired, placing my phone aside and allowing it to rest on my stomach. A delicate chime resonated from the kitchen, followed by a hushed sigh. Ah, I must have startled my girlfriend again. She had this tendency to become lost in thought at times. "Not just yet. It feels like the girls, and I have scoured every place, yet nothing seems to click." Margarita responded with a grin as she strolled out of the kitchen, leaning against the doorway and looking at me. "I might have a suggestion. There's a bar I know of. My buddies vouch for it, claiming they serve excellent drinks. The chef is also reputed for his culinary skills. You won't need to worry about discovering hair in your Caesar salad or worse," I proposed. "And what kind of bar is this?" she asked, still uncertain about where I was leading. "It's not too far from your favorite mall," I answered. Convincing Ritka didn't take much time, and within half an hour, she was on the phone with her girlfriends, coordinating a meeting. In the meantime, I stepped out onto the balcony and gave my friend a call, inquiring about his upcoming shift at the bar where he tended. He requested that I keep an eye on his fiancée and inform him immediately if anything went awry. A week later, Rita was all set to head out. After bidding her farewell with a kiss, I grabbed a cold beer from the fridge and settled back onto the couch. After settling down to watch a mediocre action movie and sighing softly, I sent a text to my buddies, planning our next hangout session for the following week. Then I reached out to my friend who works as a bartender, just to touch base. As the saying goes, trust but verify is a wise notion. My eyes grew heavy, the uninteresting movie failing to capture my attention, and I drifted off to sleep. The next morning, I was awoken by the persistent ringing of my forgotten phone. It was around 7 a.m., but upon heading to the kitchen to grab some water, I noticed that my fiancée was not in the bedroom. It appeared she hadn't returned overnight. Curiosity piqued, I checked my phone and discovered a barrage of messages from a concerned friend who had been unable to reach me. Without wasting any time, I dialed their number. They promptly answered, bombarding me with unexpected news. It turned out that the previous night, my beloved had consumed too much alcohol. Despite initially behaving decently, she had gotten carried away with her friends, engaging in mischievous antics. According to my friend, it all started with drunken laughter and jokes, which steadily escalated to something terrible. She began by sporadically climbing on tables and smoothly transitioning to a pole, where she expertly twirled. However, things took a turn for the worse when she stumbled into the lap of a stranger, and without much hesitation, remained there. And just when I thought it couldn't get any worse. Following this wild party, during which she barely had time to gulp down 2 more glasses of whiskey, she was whisked away by another man, quite literally carried in his arms. Together, they drove off into the sunset in a brand new BMW, the picture of which was thoughtfully included in the messages from my friend, who was understandably furious. To make matters worse, it was revealed that the car belonged to her ex-boyfriend. As I dialed my deadbeat fiancé's number, her groggy voice greeted me with a meow. She explained that she had spent the night at her mom's place because it was closer to the bar. With a dry tone, I acknowledged her excuse and made it clear that I expected her to come home. Frustrated, I started packing my suitcases and placing them in the hallway, removing the lids in preparation for her to pack her own belongings when she arrived. When she finally showed up, she seemed oblivious to the situation. "Kitty, I'm back." "Oh, are you going on a business trip somewhere?" she asked innocently. I snapped back, "Margarita, it's you who's leaving my house." She stared at me in disbelief, quickly adopting a defensive posture. "Why wouldn't I? Explain yourself. I'm tired of your accusations. How many more times will you do this?" she demanded. Because, Rita, it's pointless to go around drunk with your exes, I replied. Her reaction was an ear-piercing shriek as she accused me of daring to accuse her. Frustrated and angry, I couldn't contain myself and threw the phone at her. She read the message and started muttering incoherently about trust, the importance of a foundation in a relationship, and the impending wedding. But her excuses seemed feeble in the face of her betrayal. Pointing to her suitcase, I made it clear that she had just half an hour to leave, regardless of whether she was ready or not. It struck me as odd that her friends had never questioned her actions or spoken up. Their silent approval suggested that perhaps they were all cut from the same cloth. Marguerite had been fortunate to find such companions, but I can't say the same about my luck with her.